Alright, kings, gentlemen, everyone else, welcome to yet another exciting episode of Hungover Man Walking Through a Park. And today we're going to have to talk about rescuing Americans from the USA. We're going to talk about uh, how to best utilize the exodus of human capital, especially, high quality human capital from the United States for the furtherance of the European project. Now, for those of you who may not be aware, the United States has been taken over by a psychotic orange toddler at the head of a cabal of criminal scum who intend to destroy the country. And they mean to destroy the country by nosediving the economy and then buying it up for pennies on the dollar, and thus instituting a sort of new feudal socio-political economic arrangement where they control everything and the population is nothing more than chattel slaves or feudal serfs or whatever the fuck humiliating state of servitude they have in mind for us. Well, for Americans, here in Europe, we have, fortunately, for the time being, we have sort of dodged that bullet. But for the time being, it's still possible for Americans to flee their emerging open-air forced labor camp, and a lot of Americans are choosing to flee. Now, private initiative is always good, private initiative is always encouraged, but fundamentally, if you want to get shit done in this world, you're going to have state action. And so here I propose that European governments actually take action to attract some of these high-quality, civilized people fleeing the emerging MAGAstan slave labor camp and reintegrate them into the European civilizational, into the Western civilizational body, and allow them to keep participating in the civilizational project. There's a lot of scientists who've been fired from the United States government, for example, because Elon Musk and other retarded ketamine addicts don't understand that, yes, actually, having accurate weather prediction, cancer research, and seed banks is good. There's a lot of park rangers who've been fired, so we're not just talking about highly educated, PhDs. We're also talking about working class, highly useful professionals, such as, for example, park rangers, loggers. And, the United States is about to destroy its national parks. They're going to open them up to logging, mining, and all sorts of anti-nature operations. With the tariffs on Canada, there's going to be a shortage of lumber, so they're just going to cut down the national parks, because who the fuck needs nature? Am I right or am I right? Fuck yeah, America. No, that's not America. That's not America. America is America the beautiful. America loves its national parks. These people are fundamentally un-American. Oh, a bunch of dogs coming in. So what do we have to do? So we have to rescue these quality Americans. We have to set up a program which will allow them to immigrate to Europe. Now, I mentioned scientists, I mentioned skilled professionals. We're also going to have to reintegrate military officers. There's going to be purges coming in the American military as military officers who are unwilling to subjugate themselves to the whims of the psychotic orange toddler will be purged, and European governments will have to pick them up. Note, when I say European, I also include Canada in this. This is going to be essential because, unfortunate though it may be, we are, as a continent, as a civilization, here I include Canada, going to have to eventually slug it out with MAGAstan. It's inevitable at this point because the civilizational tear is, I fear, permanent. Now, I would say that if we see Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, all of these disgusting people dangling from nooses in front of the White House, I will say, yeah, the civilizational rift is not permanent. It can be fixed. But the opposition party in America just does not have the stomach to do that. They don't even understand the enemy. Refer to my video about the American left not understanding MAGA. So that's just not going to happen. And we're going to have to slug it out with MAGAstan, and that means we're going to have to pick up as many American military officers as defectors as possible. Indeed, what inspired this video was interacting with Jake Bro, the YouTuber over on Blue Sky. And Jake Bro is a former officer of the United States military. He's a missileer. He was in charge of the Minuteman III missiles, the nuclear missiles, right? And he was asking, is it possible to get Dutch citizenship? Because he's of Dutch descent, and so he no longer feels safe speaking out in America as a pro-Ukraine and anti-Trump YouTuber. So he now seeks to return to his ancestral homeland of the Netherlands, and I commend him for that. And the Kingdom of the Netherlands should expedite, it should offer to all Dutch Americans who renounce MAGA retardation, who renounce the MAGA ideology, citizenship and a sort of right of return. There should be a right of return for European Americans. So, Macedonia has a very large very large. We have a lot of Macedonian Americans relative to our population. We should look into ways to reintegrate them, to rescue our people. Italian Americans, all Italian Americans, for example, already have an Italian, people of Italian descent more generally have a right of return to Italy, and you should definitely look into getting an Italian passport if you're Italian American. But this is still at the stage of, well, this individual American is looking for ways to escape the emerging tyrannical state, and they are initiating. The European states are still not initiating this. And furthermore, what do we do with people who've been on the American continent, European Americans who've been on the European continent, on the American continent for the past 400 years? The people who came over on the Mayflower, people who came in Jamestown, who have really no national identity except, American. They've been in America so long that they have experienced ethnogenesis to the point where essentially they have no national connection to, and these people may be, English or Dutch. A lot of them are primarily English, Dutch, and French, but they don't speak the language, they don't have the cultural mores. We're still going to have to pick these people up, because these tend to be some of the highest quality Americans out there. The scientists, the thinkers, the diplomats, the military officers, the engineers, the experts. Hell, we're going to need plumbers and tilers, and everyone who is not scum of the earth should be welcome back in Europe. Now, if we include Canada in this project, this is going to make things a lot easier for two reasons. One, the culture shock of transitioning from American to Canadian is minimal because of the shared language and also the shared culture. Let's not kid ourselves here. Canadian and American culture are not that divergent. But the problem of Canada is, can we really defend Canada from MAGAstan aggression? I mean, I'm not certain we could destroy a MAGAstan invasion force plunging into Canada. Canada could, of course, also be destabilized by its internal contradictions, because we're going to have to record a whole new video on Canada, or maybe write an entire essay on Canada. I just don't like talking about other people's countries. I'm trying to get some Canadians to write about that. And but fundamentally, if we could do that, yeah, we could actually start repatriating, giving this right of return to high quality. And of course, this is going to have to involve an ideological test. European intelligence services will have to look into your social media activity to make sure that you're not part of this dangerous and anti-civilizational MAGA ideology. Now, I will say we're going to have some tolerance, for people who maybe were taken in by the Trump magic in 2016 when he was still an unknown quantity. But Trump support after that, I would say, especially after 2020, should be looked upon as, yeah, this person is not fit for civilization. So you should remain among the savages in MAGAtardistan. So yeah, that's about it. The European states, the European Union, Canada, Hell, I mean, I would even invite the East Asian states to start doing so. Why shouldn't Japan entice Japanese Americans to return to the homeland? Because, well, it's not going to be safe for anybody. Anyone who wants to be a free and civilized human being is in danger, while the MAGAstani dictatorship, the MAGAstani slave labor camp, is online. Get out while you can if you're an American. And European governments, we got to start rescuing our people. And that's about all. Bye-bye, folks, and take care.